In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to link a Microsoft Excel document to a Microsoft Word template downloaded from the manufacturer's website for populating a label sheet with data for printing. You will need the template downloaded from the manufacturer's website in a Word document format in this case, and the cable tracking Excel document that your production team may have provided for the purposes of tracking all of the cables in your signal flow in the system that you are about to label. You will need Microsoft Word and Excel, and you will need your label sheets and your printer eventually to do final adjustments on the final document. So one of the best places to start is one of the most common pitfalls that you have when linking an Excel document, which is that formulas and macros will have a tendency to break those links. If you are familiar with this document, when you open it, you may enable macros, but more commonly you would disable those, and you won't need any of that functionality in this case. When you open the document, you'll see that there's a lot of information here. What we need for our labels will be the cable number field, the source device and source socket field, and the destination device and destination socket field. As you click through the document, you can see that many of these fields are formulas or references to other sheets, and these are the things that we want to avoid that are going to break our linking. Before we create our new document with only values, we want to make sure that we have this information exactly as we'd like it to be presented. And in the case of the source device and the destination device fields, I want to add the connector information to both of these fields. So I'm going to go to the first cell that has data, and I'm going to go ahead and click at the end of the formula here, and I'm going to enter ampersand, open quote, period, close quote, ampersand again, and reference the source connector cell, which is I4. I'm going to click on the check, which tests if the formula is correct, and if everything is good, I will have the new information populated here. And go to the corner of the cursor where it turns black and double click, and that will autofill the rest of the formula, update the formula for the rest of the information in the column. I want to do the same thing for the destination, so again, I'm going to go to the end of the formula, I'm going to enter an ampersand, open quote, period, close quote, and then another ampersand, and in this case the reference is L4. I could hit enter, but enter will move you to the next cell. If you hit check, you'll stay in this cell, and then it just saves you a click when you come over here back to the corner, double click on the black cursor, and all of your information has been completed. Now, you want to preserve the titles, so you're going to go ahead and click on the A1 cell, the first cell that has your title information, and then scroll down to the end of the information that you want to preserve, and then hold shift and click to select all of that range. Now you can hit Command C to copy, or you can hit the copy button here, and then you want to file new for a new document. You do not want to hit enter, and you do not want to hit Command V for paste. You do not want to hit paste here. You want to hit the drop down and click paste values. Now what you have here is no formulas, only text, and all of this is easy to edit, and all of this is easy to link. So you can go ahead and click select all, and then double click any of the handles, and that will resize all your data so that you can see all your data clearly. And this is a good opportunity if you see any data in your table that looks redundant, that might print out on your label kind of weird. You can go ahead and just double click on a field and delete some of that, and that will look a little better. We won't go through all of these now, but you can definitely have that opportunity here at this time to fix that up in your document. We won't need these two fields here. That'll just make the document look a little ugly, so we can just go ahead and delete those right now and go ahead and save your document. And we want to save it on the desktop, and we want to give it a very clear name so that we know what we're dealing with when we go to select this document later. It just makes life easier on ourselves. So go ahead and click save, and you're done with this. So you can go ahead and close that document. You can close the original production document. If you want to save your changes, you can go ahead and click save before you close. If you don't want to save your changes, just go ahead and click don't save, and you're all all set there. Now we're going to go ahead and open up Word. And one of the first things that you're going to want to do in Word is you're going to want to go into your preferences, click on the General tab, and then make sure that Confirm File Format Conversion at Open is selected. So once that's selected, you can close that, and you can go ahead and load up your template document that you downloaded from the web. And when you open your template document, you can see that this is just a table with margins that have been aligned for the labels on the label sheet. These margins, the side margins, will be close enough to get you there, but again, the top margin, you'll just have to come in and adjust and do some test prints with that before you have your final product. So now with your cursor in the first table field, you want to go over to the Mailings tab, and then you want to click Select Recipients, Use an Existing List, and then you want to go to your desktop and select the label document that you clearly named and hit Open. It will warn you that it's a security risk to link an Excel file, but since you created this file, you know this file, you can go ahead and click Yes, and it will ask you if you want to reference a particular sheet or the entire workbook. In this case, there's only one sheet, or a particular range. So if you wanted to do only the first entries, you could come in here and do A1, A10, and that will give you the first 10 cells in the document. But since we want all the fields that we created, we're just going to leave that blank and click OK. All of these little warnings for the time being you can ignore. The next thing that you want to do is, you see how Update Labels is grayed out. You want to hit Start Mail Merge and then click Labels. Now, because your document's already sized correctly, you can ignore this and just hit Cancel. But now you can click Update Labels, and every other field after the first will say Next Record, and this is an important link to make before you continue. Now that you have the Next Record link made, you can go make sure that your cursor is still here in the first field, and then click Insert Merge Field Cable Number. And again, we're going to ignore these guys for now. We're going to go ahead and hold Shift back to select that cable number link, and then we're going to go home, and now we can edit, we can format our cable numbers link, how our data will be presented. So we want it left justified. We're fine with it being an Arial size 8, but we do want to make that bold. Once that's selected, you can just go ahead and go to the end of the line, hit enter for a new line, and we want to change the formatting. We want to remove the bold, and we want to drop the size down to a 6.5, and then I'm just going to enter text source, S for source, colon, space, and go back to the Mailings tab, insert merge field source, and now our source data is linked. And then again, hit return for a new line, and we'll do D, colon, for destination, space, and we're going to insert our destination link. And right now you can't see any of this data just because the link names are a bit long, but if you hit preview results, you'll see that your data is starting to present nice and cleanly. So once you have this first field looking really nice in the preview results, whether you're in preview results or you click out, you can just hit update labels, and all of the fields in the sheet will now be updated with the formatting of the original field that you created. So you do all your formatting first, and then it's all updated. Otherwise you would have to do links and then go back and do the format and then update again. It just saves you a small step there. So once that's done, again, so we're ignoring these little warnings for the time being. You can look at it in preview. You can see most of them are coming out right. Maybe there's one or two that you'll have to do some editing. Maybe you caught it earlier. You can still have an opportunity to fix it. Exit the preview, and we're going to click on Finish and Merge, Edit Individual Documents, and this will create a whole new document that now has generated all of those links for every field that was in the Excel document that you linked. So you now have every label generated. And again, this is your second opportunity to go through, because this is all just text. And if you want to consolidate something to make it fit better, if you want to change the text or language of one particular label, if you need to reflow a number, or if you need to add a label in the end, you can do that manually here. This is just a flat values only document. And this is the document that you'll use to print off. to your label sheets. So once you've done your few test prints and you've come here and you've changed your margin and adjusted it so that your labels are aligned with the printing area correctly, one of the things that you're going to want to do is turn off these borders, because it's going to look kind of ugly if your labels print with those borders. So once you have your alignment all done correctly, you can just go ahead and right click on the arrow here on the corner, click borders and shading, select none, OK. And now your labels will print off without those borders, but they're aligned correctly. Same thing here. Once your alignment is all set and correct and you're happy, right click, borders and shading, click none, click OK, and Bob's your uncle.